with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Whoops. Hey guys, how you doing? This is why you gotta check sometimes. You forget what's going on. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Tonight is the show where we review some of the messages that were left on SpeakPipe. I'm very excited about it. This is the first time we're launching this, and I think it's going to be a true asset to the channel because it gives the people who may not want to call in and leave a whole message and all that stuff, or call in during the lives, an opportunity to be able to have their voices heard aside from just talking in chat or whatever the case may be. Now, this isn't to say that I don't appreciate my lurkers. Lurkers, welcome. I lurk on some channels as well. I understand how it goes. Sometimes you want to be in the middle of the heat. Sometimes you just want to lay back and watch. I can dig it either way. But I just want to try to make everybody comfortable with their interactions and make sure that everybody's having a good time. Thank you guys so much for dropping those ones in the chat. I forgot to make sure that I did that. So we have the messages. Thank you so much, Lizzie B, saying that the audio is on, dropping that one in the chat. Super chill. Appreciate you. Oh, we have a new member. Welcome, Local Art Witch. You became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something for joining the My Take on My Time. All right, guys, I'm very excited, like I said, about talking about this thing. For those who don't know, we have a whole thing that we do where you can leave a message at SpeakPipe .com/MyTakeOnReality. When you leave that message, guess what happens? You get to drop a message for 90 seconds, leave a 90-second message. It doesn't go right in. It's not like, hello, hey guys, get off that damn counter. Oh no. And then it comes right to me. No. You leave, you record the message, you approve the message, and then you send the message off to me. So it gives you a way to kind of perfect your message on what you have to say. Now, we have some folks who came in hot tonight, and they dropped some really good messages. So we have about 10 messages to go through. Let's check them out. I want to make sure that everybody can hear the messages. If you guys are having trouble hearing the message, please let me know, and I'll see if I can adjust things on my side to turn things up, so that way everybody can hear what's going on and they can get my response as to what's happening. All right. I'm looking for, oh, there we go. All right. So first up, we have Alexandra. Let's take a listen to what Alexandra has to say.
Hey, James, it's Alexandra. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you and see what your take on these thoughts are. So first of all, I think Cody will never make good with his kids. He'll never repair those relationships. And this is why. Because I think he doesn't fundamentally understand the issue that his kids have with him. And I think he's layering on additional damage onto those relationships. First of all, he doesn't understand that the kids have a problem with him, not only because of how he treats their mothers, but how he's treating them by missing their birthdays, by not contacting them, by putting these dictates on how they have to behave and who they have to behave nicely to. He doesn't understand that they have a problem with that, as well as his neglect of their mothers. And then there's that initial injury, that initial hurt. But now on top of it, he's not trying to fix those relationships, and he's allowing all this time to go by and not making any real concerted gestures at fixing them. So he's compounding the issue and putting layers and more layers upon hurt and injury. And, you know, maybe some people would have the capacity to forgive that. I know I wouldn't. You know, you're having multiple layers of hurt, multiple layers of neglect. And, you know, he's just sitting there like, oh, yeah, I have my hand out. But come on, buddy. That's not how a dad.
Well, that's not how a dad operates. And I completely agree.
James, it's Alexandra.
Oh. Hold on one second. Whoa, it just jumps right to the next one. Ain't that something? So basically, what Alexandra had talked about was, do I think Cody's going to be able to heal the chasm that's left between him and his children? Now, the funny thing to that question is simply this. It can be a little more difficult than whether Cody wants to have a relationship with his kids for this reason. As Maddie has expressed, she decided that she wanted to go no contact with Cody because Cody represented a toxic environment, not only to her, but to her family, her children. So, out of protection for her children, she decided to go no contact. Now, I want to be very clear when it comes to this. I think that, the no contact decision is a very difficult decision to make. It's not a decision that should ever be taken lightly. Like, you don't go no contact because somebody left the toilet seat up, or somebody didn't put the cap on the toothpaste, or they didn't call you before they come over to the house. Oh, you being toxic, I'm never going to talk to you again. I think that that's ridiculous for you to go no contact on issues like that. But when you have somebody who is damaging you or damaging your relationship, damaging your mental health, making you unstable, making you unsure, creating an unsafe environment, not only for you, but for your children, I think that that makes it more of a viable reason as to why you want to go no contact, especially in a situation where you have Cody, who is so determined to be the victim in this situation. No matter what happens, no matter what he does, it puts him in a unique position where, whether the kids want to have a relationship with him or not, he's so determined to force Robyn into this, not only into their relationship, but he wants uh not just acceptance of Robyn, but he wants adoration. He wants adherence. He wants them to obey Robyn, to look at Robyn like he looks at Robyn as the final answer. So when she says something, that's all that they're supposed to say. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. That kind of thing. When she tells them to jump, they say how high. They don't say, oh, I don't have on the right pair of shoes. I think that that's the part of the relationship that's really a struggle, especially because Cody has taken a position where he not only wants Robyn to be first and foremost in the kids' minds, but he wants to have the full availability to be able to look at these kids and tear down their mothers and their mothers' contributions to these kids' lives, and say that because I didn't get along with your mother, you guys shouldn't get along with your mother. Because I'm having problem with your mom, then I should be able to not only punish your mom, but punish you, thereby being able to punish your mom by punishing you. And I think that that's also part of Cody's approach, which makes him a toxic person, which has triggered some of his kids' response to go no contact. Now, ultimately, I think that as a parent, it's a crazy thing for you to go no contact with your kids. Like, sometimes, people are people. And sometimes even the most terrible people have parents. And those parents may need to go no contact the other way in order to protect themselves, their sanity, maybe even the child's siblings, or whatever the case may be. I don't think that that's the case for Cody looking at his kids. I think it primarily goes the way of Cody. And the kids have to protect themselves. So do I think that they'll be able to heal their relationship? I don't know if right now the kids are in a position where they really want to heal that relationship. And, the sad part is that, especially being as though we're on the anniversary of Garrison passing, Big G's passing away, rest in power, brother. In light of that, you would think that you would start to take an assessment of your chips. Like, you would start to survey where your life is and start making different decisions. But unfortunately, at least on the show, I don't see where Cody is doing any of that. So to answer the question, I guess, long story long, no, I don't think they're going to be able to work it out. I don't think it's not anytime soon, because there's a lot of things that Cody would have to do. And to be honest with you, this would be a point where therapy could go a long way and counseling could go a long way. And in engaging counseling and therapy or professional help, there has to be an understanding that this is not a guarantee, that just because you go see a counselor, you go talk to somebody, doesn't guarantee that the other person is going to want to have a relationship with you. You should want to improve yourself to improve yourself. and then create a scenario where when that other person, if they decide they want to have a relationship with you, you've done the work to be able to accept that opportunity and take advantage of that opportunity to have that relationship with them, or at least try. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let's see. We have Candace up next.
Hey, James. I was reading a Reddit about what people would do if they ran into Cody and Robyn unexpectedly at the mall or somewhere. And the responses on Reddit were hilarious. Most of the people said they would do nothing. They wouldn't approach them. They would just let them be. People said that they would kind of yell at them and heckle them. And then quite a few people said that they would muster up the worst fart and walk on by and make sure it goes in their direction. And
crap dusting.
I was dying. I thought that was hilarious. They deserve it, those two grifting, terrible people. So I'm just curious what you would do, James. All right. Bye. Have a nice night or a nice day.
All right. Well, thank you very much for wishing me a nice night, a nice day. I'm having a great time. Thank you so much, Candace. If I ran into them at the mall or somewhere, I probably wouldn't even speak to them. There is a possibility, like, because I talk so much shit about them, I'm gonna be honest with you. And just understanding their personalities, they're probably aware of me. So there's a possibility that they would either come up to me or say something slick to me, which would invite me to talk to them if they were to talk to me first. If you talk to me, I'm definitely going to talk to you, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Will I talk to them or approach them on the street if I just see them walking down the street? Probably not. I would rather run into them or talk to them in an environment where they're prepared to have the conversation. That makes more sense to me, just because if I walk up to Cody and Robyn, that gives them the green light to say that I'm harassing them or I'm mistreating them, and I don't want to harass anybody. Okay. I think that a lot of what we see on the screen puts them clearly in a bad light. I think that a lot of the stories that we hear from the family, again, puts them in a bad light, but I don't really have any interest in trying to engage them on the street out of school, in a sense of walking up to them and harassing them because I don't like how they conduct themselves. Now, again, I am more than willing to have that confrontation with them face to face and have that confrontation with them even online. If somebody scheduled a debate and they want me to come on and we have a conversation or a discussion, not only just about how Cody and Robyn and their life and lifestyle as portrayed on Sister Wives, but if they wanted to have a deeper conversation, discussion, or debate on some of the things that Cody has said as far as his position with the relationship between men and women, fathers and children, parenting, whatever the case may be, I am all game for that. I am 100% game for that, because I think that puts them on more equal footing. It makes it a lot more fair to them. And it is what it is. So yeah, thank you so much for your call in. We have another one from Alexandra. Let's check that out. Alexandra.
Hey James, it's Alexandra. I had an idea for a topic for one of your hiatus episodes, and I think a lot of people would be animated by this, but that's just my thought anyway. So I was thinking, in the show, the wives talk about how great Cody is during labor and how you definitely want Cody there when you're in labor. But when I was watching him during those labor and delivery scenes with the women, and even with his daughter, I was livid. And I mean, I can't tell you how livid I got. I've had 3 babies, all 3 using epidurals. The first 2 were very high stress labors. I needed to deliver in an operating room just in case it went sideways and we had to switch to cesarean. And my last one, I had an epidural, but it didn't work. And when he's telling Maddie to relax her face, when he's telling Robyn, stretch out your legs because you're cutting off blood flow, if that's even a thing, I tell you, I was so angry. If it were me, he'd be going through the drywall. He'd be needing his own doctor because you don't understand what that kind of pain is like. And to have anyone talk to you that way during those times, wow. Anyways, it just makes me livid. And I am very curious to see what your take is on that and what other women would think of that as well. Anyways, thanks for everything. Love your show. Bye for now.
Awesome. Second message from Alexandra. Yeah. Look, I went to I've seen children born before. Like, I'm no stranger to it. Okay. I've seen the miracle of life as it presents itself. And I recognize fully that when you're standing in that room, you are a guest. Okay. And like a good guest, you give input when it's necessary and welcome, but for the most part, you keep your opinions to yourself. Okay. Like, for me, it's just my opinion. Like, I know that they have a thing where they like to do the home births, and by doing the home births, that precludes the possibility that they can get the epidural shots. I look, I've seen childbirths, okay? I've seen childbirths, and I'm telling you right now, one, if it was up to me and if it was up to men to have these children to propagate the human race would end within a generation. If you guys were dependent on me to push a child out of my body, I'm telling you, this whole thing would be a wrap. It would be over. Okay. I've seen what happens. I've seen what it do. And I'm telling you, it would be a clean wrap. Oh, it was nice. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for inviting me. I'll see my way out. Can I take this with me? Or okay, thank you. Like, it would be done data. Like, that's the first thing. Second thing, story time. When my daughter was born, there was a male nurse. He was kind of he was an older gentleman. First year, he had just transitioned into being a nurse. Like, he just finished school, and he was something before. I think it was like a carpenter or something like that before, and he became a nurse, went to school, became a nurse, and he was probably in his like 40s, 50s or whatever when he did it. Hats off to you. Good job. You change your career. I'm all about that. But while we were in the delivery room, they had a monitor set up where you could track the contractions, right? And you could see the contractions before they hit really hard, and you could see how bad the contractions were. Now, 2 or 3 will drive you out your mind. These ladies, when the baby is coming, the thing is off the screen. Okay, the contraction, so the pain level is insane, right? Think shit in a bowling ball, like pain levels. So this guy, I'm standing there minding my own damn business, holding my lady hand. She wants some, you can't give her water or anything. You gotta give her the ice chips and all that stuff. And, holding her hand, talk to her, you okay, trying to, okay, all right. And she complained, oh, okay, all right, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And this guy, he kept looking at the monitor. He was like, oh, here comes one. Here comes the big one. This is going to be the one. This is going to be terrible. And he kept doing that. And she kind of like what Alexandra said. After a while, my wife was like, look, if this dude don't get the F up out of here, I'm catching a case because it's going to get bad. And that's where I think Alexandra's kind of coming from. Like, when they say that Cody is so good in these labors or whatever, I think that there also has to be a recognition that when these ladies say that he's so good, I think that there's also a part where this is the one time where Cody is 100% focused on him. I think that they think he's good because this is the one time maybe that week where he actually was 100% focused on them and what was happening at the time. When they were doing it on TV, I think that there was also an incentive for Cody to try to look like he knew what he was doing and he was running the room, that he was actually the doctor who was delivering the baby. Because even when Christine was in the hospital, I kind of got that feeling like Cody was ready to tell the doctor to move aside, because he's ready to deliver this baby. Like, like he's Dr. Quinn McCoy or something, about to make it happen. So I see what she was saying and I agree with it. It was kind of crazy. There's also a point that I was unaware of. that actually Notes to Self 444 talked about. There's a point where when these ladies in this faith are having these children, they're not supposed to scream or yell or be animated. They're supposed to pretend like it's nothing is happening and it's not a big deal, which is insane. Okay, because what's going on? You deserve to scream, yell, and punch, or do whatever you need to do to get this baby, from point A to point B. Period. But so when Robyn was doing her deliveries, and she would just go, and she would do that kind of thing. That was supposed to be like her showing her strength. And so if you're in there screaming and hollering and feeling the pain and expressing how bad this hurts, that's supposed to be a detraction from you as a lady and you as a person. For some reason in this faith, it just strikes me that these ladies are supposed to endure a lot of pain, a lot of suffering to demonstrate how faithful they are to the religion. And I think that is the first sign that, this might not be the right way. So that's kind of my take on it. Let's see. Being scared. Oh, no, he made them tense, and that 100% made it worse. Yeah, sometimes talking about it, and like that's what I was saying about my wife's story. Like when you tell somebody it's coming and it's gonna hurt real bad, that does look. If you, as an older person, if I fall off a curb, I'm going to the hospital. A 5-year-old could fall down the steps, get up and walk it the fuck off. Why is that? Because when they fall down the steps, they don't know what could happen to them. I know what could happen to me if I fall off a curb. So when I fall, kind of what Abby Brown was saying, when I fall, I'm a tense all the way up because I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt. And by me tensing up, that's when I'm going to break bones. These kids will fall down. They fall down like wet noodles down the steps. And get up and walk it off. Walk it off. Right? I do that. Oh, Lord, help me, please, Lord Jesus, please, oh God, please, my shoe. And it's over. Like, call the ambulance. Don't touch me unless you have a PhD or you're EMS with one of them gurneys and a neck thing to get me the hell out of there. Okay? So it is a thing where if you tense up, you can make it worse. If you warn them without, you being there, and that's part of being like for me when I was in the delivery room where I was doing that, part of me was just making her comfortable. It's not me trying to lead it or guide it because it's going to happen on its own. I don't have to talk her into doing anything. Her body will do what it do. People have been being born on this planet generation after generation, people have been born on this planet without somebody saying, okay, now, push now. Okay, the baby's going to come when the baby's going to come. The baby kind of run the show when that happens. Like the baby in her body runs the show. Their body runs the show. That's just the way it works. So Cody's participation, is cute, but not really necessary. But again, I think that your job as a coach is to be in there and try to make her as comfortable as possible. Next up, we have Elizabeth. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for your call. Elizabeth, let's see what you got to say.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I'm from Chicago. Love your show.
Chi-town.
I watch Sister Wives all the time, slightly obsessed with it. And I'm calling because I'm so sick of Cody. Every time I see him, he's the gaslighting, horrible monster that he is. And I know we're all humans and we should give each other some grace and all of that. But this guy, someone needs to put him in his place. And I will not be happy until I see an interview with him on the show where someone puts him in his place. It is time already. I don't know how Suki can stand it sitting there and being treated the way she is, and also just not ask those questions that we all want to know the answers to. Anyone else frustrated with this? Anyone else want to see Cody get his due? And it wouldn't hurt to see Robyn also have to be confronted about the horrible things she's done. I'm not sure why she hasn't been. And if they are on the show next year, I really don't think I can watch it just for the sake of the kids. What he does to them on that show is so emotionally abusive. It's awful. Anyway, thanks for all you do. Love your show. Look forward to it every week. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And I think that for the most part, I think you're not alone. I think that there are a lot of people who are looking forward to her getting, both Cody and Robyn getting their just due. That's kind of what we've been waiting for. Realistically, the cycle of the show essentially was when they first came out and talked about how awesome polygamy was and it's the greatest thing ever. We all kind of looked at it and said that, this ain't gonna work. This makes no damn sense. These ladies are jealous as hell. This is not going to be a good time for anybody. And so it took 17 seasons, really 16 seasons for somebody to get mad enough to actually leave, 17 seasons for them to go, starting with Christine. 18 was Janelle leaving, 19 is essentially Mary leaving. And so we watched that evolution. We watched that cash out. That was the first part. I think the second part of it is the comeuppance portion. And this is the part where these ladies get together and they actually confront Cody and Robyn and express to them what they've done and get that pound of flesh per, that figurative speech pound of flesh from them. No violence, but just that, that comeuppance, that karma that we've all been waiting for. And so I think that that's part of it. I think that they've had the excellent luck of having a producer who is very sympathetic to their situations for the longest time. Somebody who was looking out for Cody, like Cody, was friends with Cody, was Cody's neighbor, and made sure that the show nor the content embarrassed Cody or put him or Robyn in a bad light. The new producers don't seem to have that same restraint. And so we could be in for, and that's why I was kind of hoping for this particular tell-all that they actually give Suki an opportunity to kind of redeem herself by taking off a lot of the constraints they have. Like I've even heard some folks say that they would love to see Cody talk to a guy because Cody wouldn't address a man the same way he addresses the ladies who have done the tell-alls. In fairness to the ladies, I think that they have been held back. Like I think these ladies are a lot tougher interviewers than TLC has allowed them to be. I don't think it's necessarily because they're weak and they can't do it. I think that, based on their job, they were told not to do it. Like, I want to be very clear about that. I think that Suki could get rough with Cody if she really wanted to get rough with Cody. As far as him talking to a guy, I don't think that they'll allow a guy to do these interviews because Cody is very jealous. From what I understand, Cody's very jealous when it comes to Robyn, and you can see that in how he talks about it. So he's not going to let a man sit there and ask her questions or ask his exes questions about their relationship. Or more to the point, he certainly doesn't want to be challenged by another dude because he wants to be able to fall back, kind of like the whole polygamy thing. He always wants to be able to fall back to, you don't understand what it's like for me because you're not part of my group, my clique, or my little section. So when, as a monogamist, if I criticize his polygamy, then I don't understand because I'm not a polygamist. This is what made Mary's asking for the separation so painful for him, because then in that case, you had a polygamist, the prophet of the church, the leader of the church, who does polygamy, has way more wives than Cody could even imagine. Dude's still getting married, right? And he told him that he didn't know what he was doing. That's why it hurt. For a guy to tell Cody that, that's why I'm open to debate Cody. For a man to say, Cody, the assessment that you have is wrong, and how you're approaching your manhood is wrong or incorrect, I think would do more damage to him. So he likes the idea of having a lady there, particularly a lady who is being told that she can't confront him. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree. I think that as far as them getting rid of him, I do still want to do a show kind of based on what IQ is asking, talking about the reality or possibility that they might actually get their own spinoff. Would you watch it? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you so much for your call in. Next up, we have Marsha. Marsha.
I have been rewatching season 1, and there was something I didn't catch the first time, and that was when Cody was sitting down with each one of his wives and was saying, what he loved about them. And when he came to Christine, he said that he fell in love with her pedigree, which I found to be kind of weird. What's your thoughts?
Okay. I appreciate the question. The pedigree question comes in when you talk about Christine being a blue blood in that religion. Christine's grandfather was a prophet. Actually, Aldridge. He was the Aldridge? That doesn't feel right. I think I'm messing his name up, but he was the guy who was killed by or unalived. Ooh, I'm in trouble. He was a gentleman that was unalived by Ervil Baron, the Mexico group. So he was the prophet, and he was an important person in the AUB, and by him marrying Christine, she's considered royalty in that faith. So by him doing that, the funny thing is that Cody had taken a position that women are what he referred to as hypergamous, meaning that they like to date to advance themselves socially, economically, financially, whatever the case may be. Financially, economically, same thing basically. But they like to date up. So women date as a stepping stool or as a ladder to climb to higher levels. The ironic part is Cody admits that he married all his wives essentially because of hypergamy on his part. He married Mary because Mary was already in the AUB, and she was opening the door for him to be a polygamist, which would have allowed him to experience the highest level of their heaven or afterlife. He married Janelle because Janelle had a house and she was doing well financially. In fact, Mary and Cody had originally rented a room from Janelle in her home before they started dating. So, and then of course, Christine comes in. He marries Christine because she's a blue blood in their religion, which would put him not only closer because he has 3 wives, but would move him up the social ladder because she's part of that hierarchy of power within the faith. Then, of course, he talks about he married Robyn because she was a Diesel Jeans model. She was super hot and all the guys in the church wanted her. So he was able to get her. So that helps to elevate him socially. So the whole time, and this is part of the reason why I want to debate you, Cody, let me know if you accept the challenge. So part of the argument that he tries to lay at the feet of women by saying that these women are no good, they are not worthy, they're less than, because they will date people to advance themselves. He did the same thing for all his relationships, and he's actually the one who is hypergamous in nature. If you disagree, Cody, let a player know. We can have that conversation. Thank you so much, Marsha. Next up, we have MM.
Hi, James. My name is Mary Marmolejo.
Marmolejo.
I've been in some chats and I leave lots of comments. I really don't like the stupidity arc of the OG3. I really want them to take the smart arc, and I feel like I'm hitting that brick wall behind you every time I hear them talk about they don't know something. They are out in the world, and there's absolutely no reason that if they don't know something, they can't go to an expert. I want to hear Christine say she went to her lawyer for one meeting and she went to a therapist for one meeting and she knows how to deal with this narcissist, covert and overt, Cody and Robyn. I need Janelle to say she does know where to go get that release and hop on it. I want to see Mary, if she can't meet somebody organically, go to a matchmaker. This isn't rocket science, but I know everyone, if you don't know something, you can go ahead and go to an expert that does. I really need the OG3 to go on a smart arc and leave the stupidity to Robyn and let that soak in and let us see how big the differences are. That's the arc I want to see, and that's how they're going to get their own show. Again, keep up the great work. Love your show. Bye.
All right, MM dropping some fact bombs. She like, we just gonna go right to it. I respect the grind, MM. I respect the fact that what you're calling for, even though you call it the stupidity arc, that's cool. But I think that what you're calling for is you're asking for these women to become empowered, and I can respect that, because even though we provide a lot of times, I've provided the excuse. I've provided the reason. Oh, okay, well, these are the reasons why they are the way they are, based on how they were brought up and based on the religion that they were involved in, based on the upbringing they were in, based on how Cody treated them, based on how Cody made them feel about themselves. This is why they do a lot of the things they do. I respect that. I get it. I understand it. And I think that that's a valid reason. However, whether we understand the reasons as to why they act the way they act, whether they believe what they believe, or whether they pursue the things that they pursue the way they pursue them or not, it doesn't matter when push comes down to shove, because when push comes down to shove, Cody and Robyn are walking away with everything. They are winning. Okay. And if these ladies, we can understand everything all day, every day, but we'll be understanding as we drop them off at the poorhouse, because they will continue to take advantage of them if they don't, start getting with it. Now, I agree that they grew up a certain way and they would have certain influences, but at the same time, kind of what MM was saying, they've been in the world now for over a decade. Okay. I know they had 20 years in Utah, steeped in that tradition and that faith and that religion, and it's hard to break away. I get that. But I would too, I think that's part of the challenge in watching the show, is that you're the person in the movie, the horror movie, like in the theater watching a horror movie, screaming at the kids, don't go down into the basement. Don't go down there. Ain't nothing down there for you. You hear your friends screaming, ah, and then stop. What you going to look for? You don't know Kung Fu. You need to get them car keys and get the F up out of there. You see your friend chomp, and and all of a sudden, they top come rolling down the path. Jump in the car, get the hell out of there. Don't go investigate and call yourself getting revenge and seeing things, or I'm going to go look. No, ain't nothing for me to see. It's time for me to see the road. That's what I'm going to see. And I think that that's kind of where we are as fans of the show. We're watching them do these things and watching these terrible people take advantage of them because they are acting like they don't understand how the world works. These folks are not, if you listen to them talk, they're not these babes in the woods who don't understand things. They do understand stuff. Sometimes, God love them. You have people who could understand things all day, but they will continue to make the same damn mistakes, irrespective of the fact that they watch people make these mistakes. You have people who watch Sister Wives criticize Mary Christine Janelle, Robyn and Cody are the most terrible people, and it's obvious that Cody and Robyn are stealing their land, and then turn around, go to a closing for a piece of property the next day and sign over, hand their boyfriend or, significant other a big ass down payment check and not make sure that their name is included on the title on the apartment or the house or a piece of property or the car that they're using that big check for. So this is kind of where I'm at. That's where I like to be on the show. We have to pull coattails, and we can understand all day that people have reasons for why they make the decisions that they make. But at the same time, we can't relent in our efforts to try to wake people up to say that by making these decisions, it may not turn out good for you. So I appreciate the avoidance of the stupidity arc. and more to the point, and more directly, I like to see an empowerment arc. Like, I like to see these ladies empowered. And that's, for me, part of the reason why I want to see them get the get back. I want to see that karma moment where they get theirs because they have done the work and they have, realized what's going on and they challenge them. So I appreciate that. But thank you so much, MM. Next up, we got Shelly. Let's see what she has to say. Or they have to say.
Hey, James. My name is Shelly, and I just wanted to mention that I've been watching you for a while. I really like your take on things. I wanted to mention something that's been bothering me because everybody got on Mary about throwing Janelle under the bus, which I don't believe that's what happened. When they were doing that, when they had that conference there, when they were making that last payment on Coyote Pass, I think she evoked Janelle's name because Cody was saying that she was aware of everything that was going on, and that was a big fat lie. She was not aware, and she was not on board, and that's what Cody tried to sell Mary, and I think that's why Mary said that she'd spoken to Janelle, and Janelle had spoken to her. Because if you notice, Robyn is the only one that says, well, why would she call you? If you notice, Cody just sits there sort of stunned. Anyways, I really wanted to get that across. Hopefully you mention it. I mean, if not, that's fine, but that's what I think about the whole thing. Hope you're doing well. Take care, and thanks for all your content. Bye.
All right, Shelly. I did mention it. You mentioned it. I played it. Thanks so much for your call, Shelly. And I'll say this. When I first heard Shelly's commentary, I actually went back right before the show started, and I watched that segment of that episode where they were doing the closing. Mary, of course, came over. She brought her check, and because she had her big check to help pay off Coyote Pass, Robyn and Cody let her actually come into the house. Hey, welcome. Come on in. Get yourself something cold to drink, girl. Right? So finally, she was able to get off the porch and actually come into the house and sit at the table. So she comes into the house, sits at the table, and I hate to say this, guys, but, well, not even so much I hate to say this, but I think Shelly actually might be onto something because when I first watched it, I'll give the both sides of it. When I first watched it, I felt too like, why, Mary, why you throw Janelle up under the bus? You threw her ass clean under the bus. She came there, tried to warn you. You so busy with your nose up, Cody and Robyn's ass that if they turn left sharp, they're going to break your nose, girl. You got to get up off of them, back up off of them. But when I watched it, listen to what Shelly said, and I give Mary the benefit of the doubt, I can see what she was talking about. Because the way Mary had did it, Cody started out saying basically, oh, well, I talked to Janelle, thinking that Janelle and Mary don't talk because they don't like each other. I talked to Janelle, and Janelle basically said that we could divide the property the way I want to divide the property. So again, Cody was using his old technique of triangulation where he puts Janelle as an example of support to him when he's talking to Mary, and then he would have went back to Janelle and said that Mary signed off on what I decided to do. And even when you look at the map as they had laid it out, he had Robyn's big ass section, he had Janelle's second big ass section, then he still had the three lots. Cody at top with where the pond is, that river rat sludge pit that he has called a pond. He had that piece of property. Then Mary had the bottom property, and then he and Mary were supposed to split the second party. My question was, if you guys are already going to change the lot lines, the subdivision lines, you're going to do a reconfigure the subdivision for the property and break it up the way you want to break it up. Why not just extend up and extend down Cody's piece of property and Mary's piece of property so that they can each have their own individual piece of property? And I think it goes back to Cody and Robyn stealing this land, in my opinion, because when Cody says that, all of a sudden, Mary gives a little bit of pushback, and then Cody says, oh, well, I have a friend who's willing to buy the whole property if we're willing to sell the whole property. And then at that time, Robyn says, yeah, but I don't think I want to sell. Now, all of a sudden, they don't want to sell the property. They don't want to build. They want everybody to build houses on the property. But then the property that he has, the extra property that he has, is supposed to be split between him and Mary. Why are we splitting property at this point? Mary should be able to sell, if she wants to build on her property, she should be able to do that. If she wants to sell her property, she should be able to do that. But you're still playing this, we gonna split it game. And again, Robyn, listening to that whole thing, Robyn had also said, oh, well, I don't know how Cody decided to do the property and why he put his name the way he did. Well, since we're paying the property off, we're already reconfiguring it. Why don't we just put the names on the property the way it's supposed to be? We don't even have to talk about why Cody did what, but you guys aren't serious. So in light of that, I have to give Shelly a little point on that. And if you guys want me to, let me know. I will pull the clip and I'll put it on the Sunday show. We can have further discussion about it. But I think Shelly giving the benefit of the doubt to Mary is warranted in this particular case. I think that Mary could have come off a little tougher, even going back to something that was said earlier about how come they don't confront each other. How come they don't actually go face to face and try to have these discussions? Mary is still kind of pussyfooting around Cody. And I think that she even said that with regard to the tell-all, that she didn't know that Cody had all that nasty stuff to say about her and Jen, calling them bees or whatever. And she wished she knew that going into the tell-all, because if she had known that, she wouldn't have been so nice, so forgiving, and so graceful towards Cody during the course of the tell-all. And I think that that's kind of where we are with the show. They have to start getting more real with one another. Stop trying to do the whole cloak of charity, because that's what's screwing you up. And to be honest with you, that cloak of charity, when it comes down to it, can mess your case up, because you don't want to call Cody out and you trying to be nice, forgiving, and gracious to him. You could turn around and give him information during the course of the show, which would allow him to take ownership of that property out from under you, or keep the proceeds from the house sale, because you don't want to confront him and you don't want to say nothing nasty, because you want to try to maintain a friendship with somebody who don't want to be your damn friend. I'm just saying. But thank you so much for your call in. We got Sunny Bunny Cuteness. Okay. That's an interesting name.
One thing that I've always wanted to say, and I don't know if it was pointed out by other creators, but it's that moment when Cody said, "I'm sorry, ladies. You left me holding the bag, and I don't know what to do with it, and Robyn doesn't know either." And in my head, I thought, wait a second. The last episode, you said that Robyn was the wife with a conscience that wouldn't let you do horrible shit to other women, right? So what do you mean she doesn't know? Because previously, in the previous episode, she said, "Oh, I want everything to be equal. Like, let's hire people. Let's get an appraisal of Coyote Pass and see what's fair for everybody." So are you telling me she no longer has that conscience? She no longer has that view that everything should be equal? And the other thing that annoys me is this concept that, one, Robyn has, because that's what he's implying, that Robyn has him on a leash, because if Robyn wasn't there to keep this man in check, he would be the most enormous asshole to these women, right? So I'm so tired of this concept of men just not being able to control themselves and being assholes to women. And Cody is taking that concept and weaponizing it. Obnoxious, unbelievably obnoxious.
Yeah, I think that hold on a second. Wait, whoa. Okay, you know what? Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, we got what? Hold on. All right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got my mods are doing a fantastic job. I want to thank you guys. I just saw some stuff. I appreciate you guys taking care of that. All right. Yeah, that just go back to what Shelly was saying. Not Shelly, I'm sorry. Go back to what Sunny Bunny was saying with regard to being left holding a bag. I do think that for the most part, Cody it would have done a lot worse to these ladies if he could. In fairness, though, and I think this is the first time I've said it, and I think this is the first time anybody has ever said anything close to this on any YouTube channels or any reviews that I've ever watched. I don't think that when Cody says, if it wasn't for my sweet, pretty, beautiful, humble wife, I would be treating these women terrible. I don't believe you, Cody. I don't believe you. I don't believe that the only reason why you're not mistreating, screwing these women over, robbing and stealing and cutthroating them is because Robyn is discouraging you from doing it. I don't believe you. I believe that Robyn is your partner in crime. I believe that Robyn is riding right along with you. I believe that Robyn is trying to pretend like she has nothing to do with it. In fact, I would even go as far as to think that Robyn might be the one trying to plant the seeds to get you to do the half the shit that you plan on doing. Now, the reason why you don't do it is because you see that dude standing there with that thing on his shoulder called a camera. And because he's standing there with a camera, you don't want to get called out or caught up doing the wrong thing on television. Had it not been for them cameras, this is what I was saying before when we were talking about the stupidity arc with where she talked about like these ladies got to start getting with it and forget all the reasons and the excuses as to why you believe what you believe because based on how you were brought up. Because if you don't start getting with the program, you don't start understanding and seeing what's going on, Cody would have screwed them long ago. If it wasn't for this show, we say like, oh, if the sister wives wouldn't have moved to Las Vegas with Robyn, or she wouldn't have came into the family, the OG3 and Cody might have all stayed together, and the Brown family might have stayed together. Had it not been for the fact that this show went as long as it did, I think that the fact that the show went as long as it did created a scenario where Cody and Robyn were forced to keep the OG3 around longer than they would have had this show been canceled back in like season 10. If this show was canceled back in season 10, Robyn and Cody would have took everything they could have financially from these ladies and left their asses high and damn dry 100%. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I don't have no facts to back it up. I can't call nothing up, but I'm just telling you from watching the show and just understanding how people work and how people think and how people act. That's what I see when I see the two of them together. They are partners in crime. The two of them are in and on it together. Now, when they screw each other over and Cody winds up getting fucked because Robyn is way better at this, I think, than he is, and he cares more about her than she cares about him. And because he has that deficit, she could probably take him, rip his pockets, clean the hell off his jeans. I think that when that happens, Cody's going to be upset and he's going to talk trash about Robyn when she empty his bank accounts. But it's not going to be because he's upset that she did the wrong thing and she ripped off him and ripped off the family and she destroyed the Brown family. He's going to be upset because when they committed this crime, he doesn't like his damn cut. That's what I think the deal is. I don't think that, I think he uses Robyn as an excuse or Robyn as a thing where he's like, oh, I am smart enough to where none of these women could have taken advantage of me, because we can't forget that he is kind of sore in the ass because these women left him and he couldn't take advantage. He no longer can take advantage of them financially. So he's sore in the ass because they walked off. And he can't take advantage of them. And he doesn't want to say that these women are smarter than him or better prepared than him or they're better suited to be able to handle, manage, and take care, maintain their money and finances better than he is. So what he's going to say is, oh, the only reason I am being held back or constrained is because I'm trying to be nice to my beautiful wife who is keeping me from doing what I want to do. He's the guy who gets in an argument with 3 or 4 dudes at the bar, the club, or whatever, and he's talking all this shit, and he's telling the dudes to hold him back. Let me go. Let me go. Get your hands up off me. I'm going to tear him to pieces. 2 of you guys, let his ass go. Let him go. If he want to get cut loose, let his ass go. See what happened. He going to get quiet as hell. Well, you lucky. You luckier. You know, I ain't trying to cause no problems. I ain't trying to catch a case up here. You know, 5 seconds ago, you couldn't wait to get at him, right? It's the same thing. I think it's the same thing. I think that he's going to use Robyn as an excuse as to why he doesn't screw these women over. One, because he's on TV and he's going to look dumb as hell when he does it. He's going to look like the criminal he is if he does it on TV and is recorded. 2, he can't. He wants to try to save face because he doesn't want. These women are outsmarting him and out turning him everywhere he goes, and so he has to try to save face by saying, "I could be doing all this crazy stuff," knowing full well he don't have the steam to do it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, next up we got Sunny Bunny again. Sunny Bunny cuteness.
So I've been watching your show about what would make the show more interesting. And honestly, after watching the preview for the spring half season that's coming up and seeing Christine sitting on a couch and being like, oh, we've all seen the engagement photos, right, for Cody and Robyn. I wonder how close they got before they got married. And in my head, I'm like, why not say that in front of Cody and Robyn? Like, why is everybody separate? Because I could understand it if, for example, in the beginning, there might have been concerns that maybe the women felt intimidated by Cody or whatever. But it doesn't seem like that's the case at all. Janelle pretty much called him a prima donna in this preview. So... And everybody's divorced now and doing their own thing. They seem to be relatively well, so there's no excuse for some kind of trauma that is triggered, for them when they're seeing Cody or anything. Nothing like that. So why not have everybody on the couch? And if Christine has this to say, and I think she's pretty spot on to say it, just say it to their faces, because that would make for interesting TV. Instead of having to do all of these back and forth confessionals.
I think that's a fair criticism. I've heard that criticism before. I think that there's a couple things that kind of come into play. The first thing, I am a little concerned about them doing the confessionals all together because, one, Cody and Robyn are going to try to run over and talk over the other 3 women, other guests on the couch. Like, they won't let them get a word in as edgewise. I do find it interesting, though, because if you have the proper moderator on that couch, too, sitting in the room, and they can direct the conversation a little more, hey, Cody, give it back it down for a second. We got to let, Christine respond, or you have to let Janelle respond, or Mary respond to what you just said. You leveled an allegation, allow them to respond. Hold on. No. Allow them to respond. Thank you very much. And then go to that. If you have somebody that can do that, one, I think it'll be more productive. 2, the ladies have to be in a mental position where they can actually confront their bullies. They have to be in a position where they can actually have these conversations with Mary and or Robyn and Cody and be able to give honest responses. I know, like I just mentioned with Mary, she's still giving a cloak of charity to Cody because she doesn't want to create problems. She doesn't want to create any waves. She wants to try to be cool. I think that we passed the time of cool, okay? We're no longer in a position where, you go into this situation and you try to come out of it in a peaceful, civilized manner. This is a position where, this is a street fight. Okay, there are no rules in the street fight, so you can't go in and say, okay, well, I'm gonna be a complete gentleman and I'm gonna keep all my blows above the waist and above the belt and all that. And then the bell rings, and the first thing this dude try to do is kick you in the nuts. Like, look, once that happens, you got to be willing to get down and dirty with him. And I think that that's kind of what people are wanting to see when they say that they want everybody on the same couch. You want, because you know Cody and Robyn are going to lie. You know they're going to deceive. You know they're going to try to alter the situation. You know they're going to try to gaslight everybody. They're going to try to legit gaslight. You're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. You're out your mind. I never said that, even though we have it on tape that you said it. It's true gaslighting. We know that that's going to happen. But we need these ladies to be strong enough to be able to confront them and deal with them on that level and say that, look, what you said doesn't make any damn sense, because this is what actually happened. This is what was actually going on. Cody, when he says that Janelle was stealing money, I want to see Janelle say, whoa, 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 you're calling me a thief. Now, because I am who I am, I would take strong exceptions to somebody calling me a thief. You can call me a lot of shit, but don't call me a damn thief, right? A thief, and the other one I can't say on online, but never, ever, ever, ever would I do something like that. So I'm not stealing shit. I don't take nothing that don't belong to me. None of that. So don't call me a thief. And for him to say that about Janelle, when she sacrificed and gave as much as she did to the family, for him to turn around and call her a thief, I would love to see her get on the couch and blast his ass about him because let's call it what it is. When he said that she was mismanaging money and she was in charge of the money and she was supposed to be paying bills when those bills weren't getting paid, and in the context of the money is coming up short, he's saying that she's stealing the money. I want her to confront him on that. The Coyote Pass stuff is cool, but I really want to see Janelle, lay into him about that shit. That's my two. So I'm kind of where you are, Sunny Bunny. I understand why they're not doing it, and I think there are reasons why they don't do it, but I'm kind of where you are. I would love to see them actually stick up for themselves, and even kind of going back to what MM talked about with the stupidity arc, or as I like to call it, the heroes arc or the strong women's arc. I want to see that moment where they actually, stand up on their own too. Got a couple more. Taylor.
Hi, James. I'm really hoping that you'll hear this, and hopefully you'll be able to check this stuff out. I really think you should go and subscribe if you're not following the channel Notes to Self 444. It's a married couple. They both grew up in the AUB, but in particular, they grew up in the same sect, like the actual same week-to-week lives as Christine and Mary. The wife did. The husband grew up in the Montana AUB, and he grew up with Robyn. So one of the things that I just learned from their channel that I think is so interesting and really informs the image we have of her, Robyn's mom was in a polygamous marriage to her biological father in the Montana AUB sect. She ultimately left him and remarried another man who was Robyn's stepfather, who we all see. But Robyn is a true blue AUB polygamist. She grew up in it with everybody else that was in it in Montana, and then ultimately moved down and got married to them. So I think we all have this image of Robyn and her parents' marriage as like, oh, it was quasi polygamy. It was not. It was full-blown polygamy. Her biological father is in the same AUB in Montana, and she grew up in it just as much as Christine and Mary grew up in it. I hope you get to see their stuff. I hope you're well. Hugs. Hope you're going to have a great channel year in 2025.
All right, thank you so much. From what I understand, just I guess some housekeeping. From what I understand, yes, I do know Notes to Self. We actually collaborate. I'm looking forward to talking to them again. And we'll be having some collaborations in 2025 too. I'm very excited about. But with Robyn growing up, it's my understanding her natural father wasn't a polygamist. Like they were part of the AUB, but he wasn't a polygamist. Like he didn't have additional wives. When her mom left her natural father, they discontinued like contact or whatever, kind of like what she did to her ex-husband, where she completely was removed from her natural father's life, and she went with her mom to be with her stepfather. And even when she did her stepfather's form of polygamy, he lived in one place with his family Monday through Friday, and he only saw Robyn on the weekends. So they, even though they were a part of a polygamous family, they lived separately, which is very reminiscent to what we see in Robyn's interpretation of polygamy within the Brown family, where the Brown family, when you first meet them, all lived in a house in Lehigh, and she lived 5 hours away. And then when she moved down to Lehigh, she lived right around down the street and around the corner, and didn't want to live in the same home as the other wives. And then even once she got out to Vegas, she made sure that they separated and they stayed separate, so that that way she was on equal footing and everybody's house was separate and devoid from one another. Then when they all come together on the cul-de-sac and they move out to Arizona, again, she broke the family up and made sure that they were all separate homes. So I think that that's part of the way that she carried her polygamy. And just because, and one of the things that I think, even as monogamous, or at least this is where I was, as I was watching the show, a lot of my struggle in trying to understand what was going on as far as these relationships was concerned was that I always kind of filtered it through the lens of fairness. When they say that they had multiple wives, I would always think that you're trying to spend equal time, equal affection, equal sensitivity and compassion to each one of your families. But that's not the case. That's not the case. It's not ingrained that that's the way it's going to the way it's going to be carried out. So, you know, kind of is what it is. But thank you so much, Taylor. That's a very good point. And again, it's always helpful to have that backdrop and putting things in a perspective, especially as we start to explore some of these things. The last caller that we had was Tanya Carter.
Hey, James, it's Tanya Carter. I didn't even know you were doing a live this week because we were off, but couple of thoughts. As we're in this break, I'm just thinking, when we come back, TLC has got to get the lead out. They cannot let Cody and Robyn continue to do these stupid storylines where, you know, it's obviously scripted. Now that we all know the $60,000-$70,000 that she has spent on dolls and doll clothes and all kind of foolishness and the spending sprees that they have. We already knew they were bad with money, but now that we have receipts, we need to be able to go inside the house, the new 2 whatever million dollar house. We need to be able to go in there. I want to see the dolls. I want to see everything, and questions need to be asked. Why were we able to buy dolls, like you said, for clothes for dolls, but not for Truly? Justice for Truly. We need to get in the house. I want to see it.
Okay. Tell like Tanya Carter want to bust open some books. I think Cody and Robyn had on their chef hats because they was cooking them books. Okay. Them books is well done. Yeah, I think that moving forward, like there are a few things that I know we had a couple people talking about what we would like to see moving forward, what TLC needs to do in order to make these shows more interesting and more watchable for the fans. Like I'm kind of in a position right now where I'm tired of watching the same as dumbass arguments over and over and over again. This is I think it's a drain not only on the viewership, but I think it's just a drain on, like, you're taking your fan base for granted when you do that. So I would like to see more from them. Like I want to see Cody and Robyn. I've said for a long time, if you really think about it, they haven't contributed really anything to the show for a number of years. Like the last real contribution that Cody and Robyn had as far as any storyline or story arc was actually when Cody adopted Robyn's kids. After that, it was pretty much radio silence, and they were around for the most part, but they weren't really involved with anything. The only thing that, well, I'll take that back. The only thing that they had really going on was when they tried to push Sister Wives Closet, and they did the whole Shark Tank thing where they were trying to get $2 million for $2 million investment for Sister Wives Closet, so Robyn can quit Sister Wives Closet and just steal the money. So, I mean, other than that, in my opinion, allegedly, in my opinion. But other than that, they haven't really contributed anything as far as the storyline is concerned. They've been around during the other ladies' struggles or suffering, and they're obviously to give their opinion on these ladies and where they are in their struggle, but they haven't really contributed anything as far as a storyline or a cohesive information about what's going on in their lives. As many people have talked about, they don't even let you, for a long time, they didn't even let us film inside the McMansion. So they would always, have people over and they would sit on the steps or sit out front because they were so disconnected from the show. And to that point, if you don't want to be on the show anymore, I get it. Like I said earlier, I would respect your privacy. If you don't want to be on the show anymore, I won't talk about, well, I'll probably talk about the show and your time on the show, but I won't talk about your life after the show. I won't talk. If you want to be in a private situation, I won't discuss you anymore. And if Robyn and Cody want to be in that position, take that position, but understand that you're not getting any more checks. But as long as you're getting a check, you gotta provide something of value to the viewership, or you're going to lose the viewership. And I think that's what TLC is kind of struggling with. But yeah, thank you guys so much for dropping those in. Let's go through some of the super chats, because we had a couple super chats, so I want to make sure I get those. Local Art Witch, welcome as a new member. Melinda Hensley, $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Melinda. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something, Melinda. Local Arts Witch, $2 super chat. James, can you turn up the caller volume? Thank you. Oh shit, I wish I would have saw that earlier. Yes, I will figure something out. If you guys were you guys struggling to hear the caller volume, just let me know in the chat. I will do something about that. I'll figure out a way where I can actually put it into the computer. I was running it through my speakers, hoping a mic will pick it up. But if you guys are having trouble hearing it, then I will figure something else out to where I could actually pump it through my my system, in so that you guys can hear it better. But thank you so much. I appreciate you, Local Art Witch. Let me give you a little something. All right. Then we have Buggus in the house, $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Buggus. Buggus in the house. Buggus. Who doesn't love Buggus? All right, let's give Buggus a little something. Good seeing you, Buggus. Lizzie B gifted one MyTakeOnReality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Lizzie B is growing a membership. We're going to do a membership live tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it maybe about 12 or so. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys are members, come on down. Just going to try to talk about like what you guys would like to see. You know what? Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Betty Aldridge. She had suggested this. She has a story that I want to kind of touch base with her. So I have your email if you're here, Betty, and I will be getting back to you. But she had talked about like this damn Ruby Frankie. Oh, woo! I am doing something about Ruby Frankie. If you guys are interested in me doing Ruby Frankie, let me ask that question. I'm gonna post that right now. We can run a little poll, because if you guys are interested in doing it, I'll put it on a regular channel. If not, I'll just put it on the members channel. But that damn Ruby Frankie, I got a whole lot of opinions. I just watched the documentary today. I got a whole lot of opinions. And this documentary was actually shot for Hulu, and it involves the Frankie family. Okay, so you have the husband, you have the two older kids providing interviews, which they haven't done before, and they're telling this whole story, this whole sordid affair from their perspective. And I want to do a damn review on this because I got a whole lot to say. Yeah. So let me see. Are you interested? Frankie video. Let me know if you guys how you guys want me to do it. So I'll start the poll now. And then thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let me get a little something, Lizzie B, because you're awesome. Amazing. Lizzie B is one of the mega mods out this world. Yeah, cause I am telling you now, like I wanted to address something that I noticed earlier. Apparently there was someone in the chat, and I appreciate folks calling that to light. Now normally, I just let my mods take it, but I'm gonna be straight up. Like, if you come for my mods, then I will have a problem with you, because these folks are doing a lot for the channel. They spend a lot of time helping me out, uh, trying to make the chat a cool spot to be at, where it's you can give your opinion and you can give your side of things. You can leave your take, and they do an outstanding job in supporting not only the channel but myself. So I want to make sure that I support them as well. Do not call them names. Straight up, don't call them names. If you have an issue, or if you have a problem, you can call me on the you can go to MyTakeOnReality questions at gmail.com. You can leave me a voice, you can leave me an email, you can leave me a voicemail message, you can write something down in my like I said, there's a bunch of ways now that you can get in touch with me if you disagree with something I say. And I encourage people to give their opinions. Give your opinion, leave your take. And I'm fine with that. We're going to disagree. We're not all going to see eye to eye on everything, especially when it comes to TV shows and things that happen, because we all have different backgrounds, different understandings, and different viewpoints. And I understand that and I respect that. But please do not disrespect my people. Don't disrespect my people, because I take that as a personal affront. If you want to call in and you want to support, like if you I've yet to run into people who have taken Cody and Robyn's side. If you believe Cody and Robyn were right, I encourage you to call in. I would love to talk to you. I would love to talk to you. I have no problems with having that conversation. I will give you plenty of room on the platform to be able to spread your wings and express yourself. But I would just ask that you take care of our mods, because they make a lot of this stuff very possible, because like what I'm doing as far as talking to the camera and the microphone and the sound and everything else, as you can tell, is a lot for me. And the mods are coming back and they're supporting me and making sure that the chat is moving smooth and everything is cool and information is being spread. Like, even from time to time, you may notice that Carmel Cuties, Lizzie B, or Brittany Not Brittany will leave a message in the chat that I will use to highlight in the during the course of the live stream. They are a critical part of what I'm doing here. So please take care of our mods, because they are here to not only support the channel, but they're here to make sure everybody has a good time. YouTube should not be a place of stress. You should not be pissed off watching YouTube videos, okay? And watching streams. You should not be angry and having a hard time watching these things. This shit should be for fun, okay? It's not that deep. It genuinely is not that deep. So please be mindful and take care of our mods. Yeah, but so with that being said, I just wanted to address that, because I saw some stuff like and again, this is how critical the mods are, because I was only able to catch up on some of the stuff when it started getting way out of hand. And I saw some of the back and forth, and I saw some of the results that they had pushed. So you know what I mean? That in and of itself tells you how important the moderators are. Because they're the ones, kind of patrolling, keeping things cool. So yeah, thank you, Brittany Not Brittany, Lizzie B in the house, one of the OG mods, Carmel Cuties holding a brother down, like straight up. So tis what it is. Don't come with my people. Yeah, because I wanted to talk about like there's a few things that I wanted to do. 69% of you guys say yes. So I'll drop something. I'll drop something, and I'm gonna make it available for everybody to be able to see. I think because because the only thing that that gives me a little hesitation is that if the video doesn't do well, then it'll the algorithm will just be like, oh, people don't like my take on reality, and folks won't see my videos. Even if you, and as crazy as it is, even if you are a member, not only in my channel, but even for other channels, you could be a member of that channel. If they put out a couple videos that don't do well, then you'll start the algorithm will stop populating it or putting it into your queue to see it. Like, so you won't even see the video. So just saying. But yeah, I think I'm gonna drop it because there's some stuff that I really want to talk. I really want to talk about some stuff in that. But yeah, so I'm gonna take you guys poll. So the poll is coming through. Yeah, they the mods are on top of a lot of this stuff. But thank you guys so much. And I want to thank you guys for I think that this show was a success. I think that this show went well. Yeah. Your current kid was say I am bad, but I didn't see much about the Ruby Frankie situation, so I'll be enlightened on it if you do a video. Yeah, ooh, that damn Ruby Frankie video, boy. That Ruby Frankie was something else. Okay. And I think that like even for people who watch a lot of the Sister Wives content, please understand there are some very strong parallels to what was going on in the Ruby Frankie situation that we've watched in the Sister Wives situation. It's very funny too, because a lot of that family content comes out of Utah. They push it real hard. So it'll be interesting to see like some of those parallels as well as some of the positions that the parents have taken, you know, particularly the dad when we talk about like how these kids were mistreated. Just as an example, how Ruby Frankie was caught, she was mistreating her children. And how she was caught was her youngest son had crawled out of a window, went to the neighbor's house, and it's the most heartbreaking thing ever. He rings the doorbell, rings the doorbell, rings the doorbell, rings the doorbell, and he's getting ready to leave because he does. I guess he doesn't think anybody's home, and he's walking away. And this little boy is so skinny, so emaciated, it's so ridiculous. And a gentleman comes out and he asks him, "Hey, what's going on?" The little boy said, "Yes, I would like to ask you if you could do two favors. If you could take me to the closest police station, and well, that's probably the only favor I really need." And the guy said, "Well, what's going on, son? Have a seat. What's going on?" And the little boy was like, "Well, that's kind of a personal thing." And you could tell, like he had when he came out, he had his he had duct tape around his wrists, his ankles. He had rope burns. He was beat on. Like it was crazy. It's crazy. Okay. And Ruby Frankie was a fellow YouTuber, a colleague, I guess you could say, who had a family channel where she used to talk about how to raise kids and discipline kids and all that. It's insane. So we'll be going over that. I got to put something together and I'll be coming out with that video. So keep an eye out on it. Make sure you hit that HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and you will be notified when I upload new content. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with a brother. I told you guys I'm gonna try to during the week, I'm gonna try to keep these relatively short so they're a little more manageable for our rewatch crew. Before we go, once again, I want to make sure I want to give a huge shout out to our fantastic super mega mods, Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, and Carmel Cuties. I appreciate you guys holding everything down for me. I appreciate everybody in the chat for keeping it cool and keeping your heads and making sure that everybody is having fun and having a lively conversation, because that's why we do what we do. And I also want to make sure I thank everybody who called in and left a message on speakpipe.com/MyTakeOnReality. If you leave a message, I'll play it in our next meeting. We'll do these on Thursdays. I'll give you my take back. If you don't want your message played, please just say something in the beginning like, hey, this is Joe Blow, blah, blah, blah. This between me and you. Could you not play this? Whatever the case may be, give your message, and I'll respect your wishes. All right? That's my take. Guys, I appreciate you. Before I go into that, I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate all you do. Thanks so much for supporting a player. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide. Follow lights. Take me where I want to visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
All right. Hey, I'm back.